I really think we should talk about OpTic versus Vegas real quick. Um, we talked about it, I think, on the last episode about how Kix is stepping away from the team temporarily to deal with some personal matters. He's going back to Saudi Arabia. And Vegas, in his place, will put an academy player. There's also rumors that they will replace King Abodi and bring in another academy player as well.
I think that's all but confirmed at this point.
Okay.
Again, we don't know who is replacing him, but Clayster tweeted 19 hours ago Falcons Academy qualifying for the Challengers Elite on 2 days practice, LFG boys, and he tagged King Abadi, Hamza Frosty, uh, Q QK4BB, uh, King, and MOT3YY Modi. So regardless, point of that is that Clayster tagged King
Yeah.
Abodi in the Falcons Academy qualifying for Challengers Elite, which would lend us to believe that he has been replaced on the main CDL roster.
And that would beg the question of how is a team that we already agreed is the worst team in the CDL, how are they going to play with two new players on minimal practice? Even if they have been, let's say they had practiced pretty much for a few weeks since the holidays, I guess. Uh, are they actually going to make is that a big difference? Like, I thought Kix was the best player on the team, in those first 2 weeks of the CDL, and now they're replacing him and another player. I think it's obviously like we're both gonna pick OpTic. I
Oh
assume
yeah.
like there's just no way that anyone should pick Vegas. But as we have said in the past, there will come a time where the other team just kind of sleepwalks and Vegas catches them. And I'm not saying this couldn't be it. It just doesn't feel like OpTic would be that team. So I'm going to go with OpTic in my prediction.
So am I. I do think, again, just playing devil's advocate for the sake of pointing out some facts and things that have happened this year. This has, again, this is on paper here, but you can definitely make the comparison for this match to Optic's initial match of the season against Boston, where we've talked about it a couple times now. Boston could go into that match as the 12th place team from the previous season playing the first place team from the previous season. Absolutely nothing to lose. Everybody picking against them, and they were able to pull off an upset. So similar narrative potentially here for Vegas. Obviously, just a very different situation with very fresh roster and new players making CDL debuts potentially from the guys on the academy, whoever ends up filling those spots of King Abodi and Kicks. So a lot of moving parts there, and I do not expect Vegas to pull off the upset here, but similar to that, we've also highlighted in the past OpTic making uh, just historically having slow starts at tournaments throughout the history of the esports organization. But this is an online minor, and it's not necessarily the same as like their slow starts on LAN and at previous events and stuff. So a lot of things you could potentially reach for if you're really looking for some angle for Vegas to pull off an upset. But just think it's going to be too much going against that squad, and OpTic should take care of business here.
Yeah, sometimes OpTic makes it hard on themselves when they don't really need to. Florida Mutineers on several occasions was a good example of that. I just, like I said, I don't see Vegas being that team, but you made a good point. We didn't think of the Boston Breach. Even I think even now, like if OpTic were to play Boston, we would think OpTic's going to win.
Yeah.
And Boston is a top 4 seed heading into this.